okay for the most part. Haven't seen any fog set up this morning either, but we'll keep an eye out for it. Not going to totally rule out any patchy fog developing later on this morning, but hopeful we don't see any significant issues there. Like I said, temperature sitting in the 60s this morning, 66 in Columbus and Amory, 68 in Tupelo, 65 in Macon, 64 in Vernon. As kids head to the bus stop this morning, here's what they can expect. Another warm day on tap for us. Upper 60s as they head to the bus stop this morning, but it'll be in the upper 80s as the kids take their lunch break, and then topping out right around 90 as the kids come home from school. Not going to rule out a rogue downpour once again as we go through the day today, but most spots going to be dry as those kids come home from school. We'll have details on the cool down, what you can expect for your weekend coming up in just a few more minutes. Renee?
All right, Alex, thanks a lot for that update. The Mississippi Bureau of Investigation is issuing an endangered missing child alert for 12-year-old Jasmine Latrice Donnerson of Jackson. She's described as a young black girl, 5 foot 1 inches tall, weighing 125 pounds, with black braided hair and brown eyes. Jasmine was last seen yesterday at around 1 p.m. in the 100 block of Williams Avenue near Power Middle School. She was wearing a blue shirt, khaki pants, black and pink Nike Jordan tennis shoes, and a black jacket. If you have any information that can help find Jasmine, contact the Jackson Police Department at 601-960-1234.
Investigators released photos of a vehicle and a picture of a man deputies consider a person of interest in a hit-and-run crash that left a man dead Monday night. The images came from a gas station immediately following the crash. Deputies say a vehicle hit 23-year-old Deshante Nix on Old Highway 25 Monday night. Sheriff Steve Gladney says Nix was on a bicycle traveling in the southbound lane when a car in that lane hit his bike. The driver of that car got out to check on the bicyclist, who ended up in the northbound lane. Well, that's when another car ran over the cyclist and did not stop. That car is believed to be a yellow Scion.
There will be damage done to this vehicle, maybe to the right side or underneath the vehicle. So if you know anything, please contact us, because we need to find out who this person is.
Gladney says the suspect faces a charge of leaving the scene of an accident. He also says there could be other charges depending on the outcome of the investigation.
All right, well, forensics are a game changer for hit-and-run investigations. Crime scene investigators work hit-and-run areas just like any other crime scene.
They look for evidence left behind and other signs that could narrow down leads for law enforcement. WCBI's Jory Talley has more.
First thing investigators will do is read the road.
The most obvious thing is going to be tire tracks. Unless the car can fly, there's going to be tire tracks left in some way, shape, or form. So we look for tire tracks that are usable for comparison purposes.
Violent crimes leave things like bullet casings, and in hit and runs, bits and pieces of cars and trucks provide the first clues.
That can extend to, of course, you know, the most popular paint chips, that kind of stuff, but also busted taillights, busted headlights, pieces of the car. All of that kind of help us put a puzzle together to determine at least what type of vehicle we were dealing with.
The process is not as easy as it may seem, and is far from what you see on TV shows like CSI.
To try to pull it up and just really grab an easy formula to identify that this went to this manufacturer or this paint manufacturer or type of car, it takes someone with a lot of skills to break it down to get to that.
For example, a paint chip from a car works much like human DNA.
Every manufacturer has its own specific paint codes, and with that, we formulate that, and there can be, with the exception of your basic black and white, there could be thousands of maroon colors, silvers.
You narrow it down from every car or truck imaginable down to at least, you know, a class of vehicles, say a Honda or a Toyota or, you know, Ford pickup or something like that.
Shepard says he's worked dozens of hit-and-run cases, and forensics has helped many of them locate a suspect and solve the case. And that was our Jory Talley bringing us that report.
A pedestrian was struck and killed by a vehicle around 7:30 Monday night in Lowndes County. The victim, 29-year-old Craig Hauser, was walking on Lee Stokes Road near the state line when a car exited off of Highway 82 headed north. According to Lowndes County Coroner Greg Merchant, Hauser was close to the exit when he was hit and died at the scene. No information has been released on the driver and no criminal charges are expected.
Jackson PD says the Verona woman claiming she was falsely accused of murdering a Jackson man is still considered a suspect. Quashana Martin and her attorney Willie Allen spoke with us on Monday. Martin was arrested and charged for the murder of Freddie Mosley earlier this month. Her attorney says Martin was falsely accused of the crime due to identity theft after losing her ID. Martin's charges have been remanded, meaning she could be brought back to court. Meanwhile, one of two others wanted for Mosley's homicide were arrested yesterday in Kansas City. 23-year-old Samaya Reed is now in custody and waiting to be extradited to Jackson.
Yes, we have information and put her at the scene of the shooting.
Jackson PD says once the investigation is complete, they'll present their findings to the next grand jury.
The owner of a funeral home is behind bars this morning in connection with an insurance scam. 42-year-old Kim Riddell Dotson is charged with 4 counts of committing false pretense. Deputies say Dotson failed to forward life insurance premiums to Security National Life Insurance Company. Dotson turned himself in to Choctaw County deputies last week. He could face up to 40 years in prison.
The future of OCH Regional Medical Center was up for discussion in Starkville yesterday. The Board of Supervisors held a special meeting to discuss requests for proposals concerning the possible sale of the county-owned hospital. In a press release, the board says they agree to go along with the sale of OCH if that's what the voters choose on November 7th. The deadline for all proposals to be submitted was on September 15th. The board would not say how many bids they received, but they did, however, have certain requirements for potential buyers to meet if they do, in fact, sell the hospital. Some of those requirements include they must make $25 million after paying $35 million in hospital-related bond financing. Also, they must have a plan to keep existing employees and promote employee retention and stability, just to name a few. The board's consultant, Ted Woodrell, says the board can't release any information regarding the proposals they received yesterday until after the referendum on November 7th.
Legal counsel and I met several times to go through the proposals so we could score them. And by scoring, I mean put them down to the key elements so that the supervisors would have the right information in front of them to make a decision whether or not to continue to negotiate with them or not. I think it was handled very appropriately. It was decided to move forward with further negotiations if the referendum is passed.
The president of Friends of OCH, Dr. Steve Parvin, expressed his disappointment with the process, saying, quote, "The information handed out by the Board of Supervisors consultant regarding the bids provides very limited information. Once again, this process has not been transparent. It's unfortunate. The supervisors have spent hundreds of thousands of taxpayers' dollars and have not involved the citizens who are the owners of the hospital in the process. We are working to provide the facts with all Oktibbeha voters so they can make an informed decision on November 7th.
All right, coming up on Sunrise, Allie Martin will have a look at the importance of hospice care. He's got a special report. And next, a Halloween display attracts attention for all the wrong reasons. We've got more Sunrise. Well, there's the story right there. More